नमामि शारदां देवी वीणा पुस्तकधारिणीं नमस्कारकरस्तु मी प्रसन्नास्तु सदा. Now, basic concept in geometry, part third. We have studied the some concepts of geometry in first two parts, and we have completed your practice set number 1.1. Now, going for the some more concepts in geometry. In that, first we are going to write about what? Line segment. I have given some idea for line segment. If for the line segment, I told you that our line is there. Okay. For a line, I have denoted by an arrow. Is it right? And suppose I am going to take any 2 points. And there are many points are there between A and B. So as per the definition of line segment, the union of points A and B, points A, comma B, and points between A and B is called segment AB. It is called as what? Segment AB. See once again, this is a particular statement for what? Segment AB. What is that? The points A and B and all the points between A and B, that union is called as what? Segment AB. Okay, or it is also called as what? Segment BA, segment AB or segment BA. It is written as seg. This is what I would write: seg AB or seg BA. Have you understood this now? But now this segment, suppose segment PQ is there. I am going to take point. This is segment PQ. This segment PQ has a particular length. I told you that if it is 5 centimeter from here to here, then this is actually called as what? Length of segment. So what will the end length of segments? Okay, before that I have to clear one more point. Then we'll go for the length of the segment. It is written as what? Segment AB or AB, and points A and B are called end points of segment AB. Okay, this point A and B are called as what? End points of segment AB. Now, this line segment has a particular length. So, we are going for the new concept, that is what? Length of segment or length of line segment. The length of line segment, the distance between end points of line segment is called length of segment. Is called length of segment. Suppose you are going to take the example. I am going to take segment, say PQ. And length of this segment PQ is say 5 centimeter. Okay, the distance between P and Q is how much? 5 centimeter. So if it is 5 centimeter, then I can say that length PQ is equal to 5 centimeter. How it is written? Length PQ is equal to 5 centimeter. Have you understood this now? Okay. So once again, we are studying new concept, line segment. Line segment is a line on which you are going to take 2 points. Okay. And there are many points in between A and B. Is it right? Unlimited number of points are there. The union of that point A as well as B and whatever points are there in between A and B, that union is called as what? Segment AB, or not necessarily I am going to write AB, we can write segment BA also. Same thing is there. It is written as what? Seg AB, or we are going to written as what? Seg BA. And point A and B, they are called as what? Endpoints of the segment AB. Now new thing is there, I told you this is extending, but now this is restricted. This distance is fixed. So distance between A point of the segment is called as what? Length of the segment. Suppose this is the segment PQ, then distance between P and Q is how much? 5 centimeter. So length PQ is how much? It is 5 centimeter. This is the length of the segment. Have you understood this? Please students, pause the video and copy down. This is again important concept. Okay, second concept is congruent segments. Congruent means equal. अभी इसे दिमाग में रखो because we are going to study congruent circles, congruent triangles, congruent segments. Now it will become now a word तुम्हारे लिए बहुत common word हो जाएगा, but now it is the first time you are going to study, that is a basic concept, congruent segment. In this, if length of two line segments are equal, then two segments are congruent to each other. So, if we are having two segments whose lengths are equal, then I can say that two segments are congruent segments. Suppose I am going to take one segment and other one is also same length. Is it right? These are the length of, now this fit, but you can take 5 centimeter. And this I know that this is segment AB, this is segment PQ. If the length of this segment is say 6 centimeter, here also you can take 6 centimeter. You got it? So what I can say then, length AB is equal to 6 centimeter, and here length PQ is also what? 6 centimeter. Have you understood this? If they are equal, then we can say that length AB is equal to length PQ. So these two segments, segment AB is congruent to segment PQ. This is a sign of what? Congruent. So how we read it? It is written, it is read as segment AB is congruent to segment PQ, and that you have to put in the box. Once again, I read it once again. See, congruent segments. Congruent segments is equal segments. Equal कैसे measure करोगे? If the length of two line segments are equal, then two segments are called as what? Congruent to each other. Is it right? I have taken the example. This is the example. What is that? I have taken two segment AB of 6 centimeter, segment PQ is also of 6 centimeter. The distance between end point length AB कितना है 6 centimeter, length PQ कितना है 6 cm. तो length AB is equal to length C once again. When you are writing the word length, then I have to put an equal sign. And when I am writing segment, they are congruent. Lengths are equal, but segments are congruent. And when they will be congruent, when lengths are equal. So when lengths are equal, segments are congruent, and it is a sign of congruent, and it is read as what? Segment AB is congruent to segment PQ. Have you understood the concept of congruent segments? Pause the video and comment on it properly. We are going for the properties of congruent segments. Congruent segments. Congruent means equal length वाले जो segment उसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? Congruent segments. There are three properties. Again, these words are going to repeat. Please अभी से ही तुम लोग इसकी मीनिंग समझने का ट्राई करो. First property is called as reflexivity. Reflexivity means reflection. Reflection means if I am standing in front of the mirror, I am able to see myself in the mirror. So that is my reflection. Means here reflexivity is every segment is congruent to itself. What is reflexivity? Every segment is congruent to itself. Means that is segment AB is congruent to segment AB. Yeah, segment AB is congruent to segment BA. BA is also same thing as AB. So segment AB is congruent to segment AB. That is the reflexivity. What is the property of reflexivity? Every segment is congruent to itself. Then second one is symmetry. What is the second property? Symmetry. Symmetry is if first segment is congruent to second segment, then what I can write, second segment is also congruent to first segment. See, simple thing is that symmetry. Symmetry is, what is symmetry? If first segment is congruent to second segment, then second segment is also congruent to first. Example, if segment AB is congruent to segment CD, correct? Now, why they are equal? Because if it is 6 centimeter, this is what 6 centimeter. Then what I can write? Segment CD is also congruent to segment AB. This is the second property, which is called as what? Symmetry. What is the first property? Reflexivity. What is reflexivity? Every segment is congruent to itself. That segment AB is congruent to segment AB. What is second property? That is symmetry. What is symmetry? If first segment is congruent to second segment, then second segment is also congruent to first. I want more place, so I can write here. Then segment CD is congruent to segment AB. Will do. Now, third property we are going to study is called as transitivity. Please, students, what is that? Transitivity. What do you think of transitivity? देखो अभी simple सी है. Every segment is congruent to itself. Here symmetry. If first segment is congruent to second, and second is also congruent to first, then what is the transitivity? First is congruent to second, second is congruent to third, then third is congruent to first. Yeah, first is congruent to third. Then again I'll write if first segment is congruent to second segment and second segment is congruent to third segment, then third segment is congruent to first. Yeah, from here, first segment is congruent to third segment, also you can write. Once again, if first segment is congruent to second segment and second segment is congruent to third segment, then third segment is congruent to first or first is congruent to third. Means, for example, I can write if segment AB is congruent to segment CD and segment CD is congruent to segment PQ, then what I can write? Segment PQ is congruent to segment AB, or AB is congruent to PQ. These are the three properties of congruent segments. I'll repeat once again. The properties of congruent segments are reflexivity, symmetry, and transitivity. Is it right? So once again, what is reflexivity? Every segment is congruent to itself. Symmetry, first is congruent to second, then second is congruent to first. Transitivity, first segment is congruent to second segment, segment is congruent to third segment, then third segment is congruent to first. That property is transitivity. Please students, the school can ask these properties of congruent segments. So I think you should know it, as well as if they ask the question, you can represent like this. Okay, copied on it properly. Now next concept is midpoint of segment. Midpoint of segment. If, can you tell me what is the meaning of it? M lies between what? A and B. A and B are collinear points and M lie between what? A and B. And segment AM is congruent to segment MB. When they will be equal, when they are having equal length, means length AM is equal to length MB, then point M is called midpoint of segment AM. Midpoint of segment AM. So, if I draw a figure, and if I am taking this point as a midpoint, so if it is 5 centimeter, this is also 5 centimeter, definitely it will be about 10 centimeter only. You got it? So what I can write then? Length AM is equal to length MB is equal to 10 centimeter and M lie between A and B. So what I can say that M is midpoint of segment AB. One more thing is there, and that can come as a MCQ. See the statement. Every segment has one and only one midpoint. This is a very important statement for your MCQs. What is that? Every segment has one and only one midpoint. I'll repeat. Midpoint of the segment. What do you think of midpoint of the segment? In that case of midpoint of the segment, M should lie between A and B, and segment AM is congruent to segment MB, then M is called midpoint of segment. M is called midpoint of segment AB. You got it? M is called midpoint of segment AB. And have you understood this? Then segment AB. Then see the figure. AM कितना है 5 सेंटीमीटर, MB कितना है 5 सेंटीमीटर, AB कितना रहेगा 10 सेंटीमीटर. Definitely. तो M lie between A and B. Length AM is equal to length MB. 10 centimeter वाला M is a midpoint of segment AB. And one thing we have to write. Every segment has only one midpoint. एक से ज़्यादा midpoint हो ही नहीं सकते. That is called as every segment has one and only one midpoint. Okay. One example. Suppose K is the midpoint of segment PQ. And if length PK is equal to 3.5 centimeter, find length KQ and length PQ. This is a question we will ask. Correct? So in that case, if you want to draw the figure, you can draw, not necessarily also कि figure draw करनी पड़ेगी आपको. This is the midpoint. This is point segment PQ. K is the midpoint. K is the midpoint of segment AB. So what you are going to do is, you are going to write solution. K is the midpoint of segment PQ. Therefore, I can write that length PK is equal to length KQ, and that will be half of PQ. Okay, half of length PQ. We know the PK is what? 3.5 centimeter is equal to length KQ is equal to half of length PQ. So what will happen now? Just tell me. Length PQ is equal to KQ is equal to 3.5 centimeter, and here we can write 3.5 centimeter half of PQ. If I multiply 3.5 into 2 will be what? PQ. So length PQ will become 7 centimeter. And length KQ will, or you can write it this way, 3.5 centimeter is equal to length KQ. Is it right? So length KQ कितना हो जाएगा? 3.5 centimeter that you can put in a box. Once again, the question, how they will ask the question. Suppose K is the midpoint of PQ. Is PK is how much? 3.5 centimeter. They have asked you KQ and PQ. So K अगर midpoint and this is 3.5, so this will be KQ will be what? 3.5 only, and what is the entire PQ? that will be half of PQ. So 3.5 is equal to half of PQ, means you are going to multiply by 2 on that side, you get what? PQ is equal to 7 centimeter. Copy down this, you pause your video and copy down it properly. Comparison of segments. Segments means line segments. अच्छा, what is meaning of comparison? हम लोग दो स्टूडेंट के बीच में कंपैरिजन करते हैं, मतलब क्या होता है, किसको ज्यादा मार्क्स है, किसको कम मार्क्स है, दो भाइयों के बीच में किसका एज बड़ा है, किसका एज छोटा है. Same thing is that comparison means which segment is bigger and which segment is smaller. So we can say that if length of segment AB is smaller than length of segment PQ, then segment AB is smaller than segment PQ. It is written as seg AB is smaller than segment PQ. You know this is the smaller sign, smaller or greater sign. So segment AB is smaller than segment PQ. Okay, and one more thing there for comparison, the comparison depends upon the comparison of segments depends upon their length. Have you understood this? Once again, what is the comparison? Just comparison is what? Which segment is larger, which segment is smaller. Is it right? So, if we are having two segments, segment AB and segment C, if length of the AB is less than, or you can write what? Less than, would be better, smaller, we can write less than length of segment PQ, then segment AB is smaller than segment AB. It is written as what? Segment AB is smaller than segment PQ. The comparison depends upon what? Their lengths. Have you understood this? Simple thing is there. Okay. Perpendicular segments or rays or lines. Perpendicular segments, rays or lines. Forget about the definition. They are not going to ask the definition. Perpendicular matlab the angle between these two segments or two rays or segment and rays or two line is 90 degree. Then it is called as what? Perpendicular. If two lines, we can write what? If two lines or two line segments or two rays or segment and ray are perpendicular to each other. Perpendicular to each other means what? The angle, measure of the angle between them is 90 degree are called perpendicular to each other. Have you understood this? The definition is not important, concept is important, that perpendicular segments or rays or lines means if two lines or two line segments or two rays and segment and rays, let's say you can say line and ray, are perpendicular to each other, means what? Measure of the angle between them is how much? 90 degree, are called perpendicular to each other. Suppose if I draw the figure, okay, if I draw a figure like this, means suppose this is line L, line M, and this is segment AB and segment CD, and angle between them is 90 degree, correct? Then I can say that line L is perpendicular to line M, or I can say segment AB is perpendicular to segment CD, or ray CD is perpendicular to segment AB. Anything can write. Only thing is there should be a perpendicular sign, or measure between the measure of the angle between them should be how much? 90 degree is called as what? Perpendicular segment, perpendicular rays, or perpendicular lines, or perpendicular ray and line, or perpendicular lines. Okay, covered on this. The distance between a point and line or segment. Students, please, this is a very important thing, that distance between a point and a line. So this is a line L is there, and a point is there. Suppose A point is there. Is it right? Yeah. If you are taking our example, this is a Bhayandar station, and we are located over here. This is Vivek Tutorials. Suppose anybody asks me, what is the distance between Vivek Tutorials? This is the point of Vivek Tutorials. So I will not measure the distance from here to this end or this end. What I am going to do, I am going to find out the minimum distance. This is the distance, and that is always a perpendicular distance. So students, keep in mind that distance means perpendicular distance. Distance means perpendicular distance. So distance between a point and a line. What I can say then? Distance between a point and line or line segment is a perpendicular distance between point and line. Means I am going to draw a perpendicular. So what I can write then? A is a point. And L is a line, and segment AM is perpendicular to line L. This is the sign of perpendicular. Okay. Therefore, I can write then distance between point A and line L is equal to length AN. If it is 5 centimeter, I am going to write 5 centimeter. This is the concept of a distance between a point and a line. So now we are finding it is very easy, but students at a particular time when you are doing the difficult questions, some questions with some concepts, that time this thing will become very important. एक ही डायलॉग याद रखना, distance मतलब perpendicular distance. What is that? Distance मतलब perpendicular distance. Okay, so today we stop with the part 3, and in next lecture, next part, we are going to continue with your practice set 1.2. We have completed today some concepts like Today we come to know what is the meaning of line segment. Correct it is. Line segments के बाद हमने स्टडी किया था what is the meaning of congruent segments. Congruent segments are the two segments having equal length. You will come to know what is the symbol for congruent segments. Then we have studied the properties of congruent segments. In that we have completed the three properties. First one was reflexivity, second one was symmetry, and third one was transitivity. Got it? वो हमने complete किया था. Then we have completed the midpoint of the segment. Midpoint of the segments. In that we should know that each and every segment has one and only one midpoint. Is it right? And if they are giving some distance, how to find out the distance of midpoint from the one end, that we come to know. Then we have studied comparison between two segments. Okay, comparison के बाद हमने किया था perpendicular of the two lines or two segments or ray and segments and line and segments. That is that angle between them should be how much? 90 degree. And this is the important thing, distance between a point and a line or line segment. If A is outside the line, then anybody asks me what is the distance between this point and this, so first of all we have to draw perpendicular. Distance का मतलब perpendicular distance, that you have to keep in mind. So next lecture we're going to continue with the practice set 1.2. Okay, thank you students.